All right, we just got back from Costco. I feel like we did pretty good, but I did go in with a plan, which is highly unlike me when it comes to Costco. I did try and implement some of the sale items. I get their flyer through my email, so that's how I was able to do that. I did not get everything that I needed, but the grocery stores down the road and we will make do. The goal is to make this last for 2 to 3 weeks with stuff on the shelves and that we already have, like pantry meals, shelf stable meals, and then what we got today. And we, if you are new here, are almost a family of 6. So these are not in any particular order, but I did try and make like a map of the store, and then that's how I do my list, if that helps you. I feel like sometimes I can get super busy like today, and you can bypass things that are on sale, or you can forget your list. So that's my tip. Sweet potatoes. These are relatively inexpensive, nice to have, and you can do a lot with them. We have the baking potatoes. These are under $5. I believe they're under $4, and you get 10 pounds of them. So that's quite the deal. If you are into home canning potatoes, this is where I would go to do it, unless you're growing your own. And then I have the Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. These are $13.99, but they're a little cheaper than Archer Farms, and they have good ingredients and they're super tasty, so we grab those. I get 2 of the Mission flour tortillas, and I save one of the packs, so there's 2 packs of 20, 40 total bunch that you can do with tortillas. We like enchiladas and tacos, obviously, so one of those will go in the freezer. And then the late July organic multigrain chips were on sale, so I got some dip for that and some salsa. I always get the Jackson's avocado oil sweet potato chips, and this is their like summer organic pasta. We try and go unenriched whenever we get a chance. Obviously that's kind of unavoidable here unless I'm making my own, but we are an 80-20 household. We try our best to get the toxins out, but at the same time, we also need to keep our budget in mind. I got the Johnny Pops. These are just like fruit pops that you stick in the freezer. They're on sale this week, and I believe next week for $7.99, which is a pretty good deal. I ended up getting some yellow onions. Again, I wanted to make some of my bulk salsa, and this is a really good value. I got some orange juice. The organic orange juice is up to like $16. It's just, in my opinion, not worth the cost, I guess, for what you get. And I'm only drinking this maybe once a day. I mix it with coconut water and a little bit of lime juice, and I like to make some sort of electrolyte drink with a little bit of sea salt. And then I have some of the Nature's Own bread. That's a 2-pack for like $5. The chocolate French crepes were on sale, so we got 2 of those. I got some Campari tomatoes. I want to taste these before I go all in for my salsa, but I know the onions will last for a while, so we shall see. We use tomatoes, well, I do at least every single day. The strawberries were on sale, and then we have bell peppers, or well, mini bell peppers, sweet peppers, and then the grass-fed butter. I try and go for the Greek yogurt that is the Costco brand, but it's always non-fat, so there's a lot of additives, so I try and go for the whole milk whenever I get it, so that was on sale. The Grillo's pickle chips in this batch, in this container, 1 quart of them was on sale, and we usually get the spears, but I noticed that my daughter, who loves these pickles, these are easier for her to eat. I got the Chosen Foods mayo, 2 things of bananas, and then the Gala organic apples were on sale. And I try and get whatever cheap organic apples on sale because we go through them so often. And then for meat, we got the grass-fed beef sirloin, and I found that this was the cheapest option. Honestly, I think it was like $25 for this. All the other ones were up in like the $40 to $60 range, and we just don't have that in the budget, so we grabbed some of the sliced grass-fed beef sirloin. And then we get the 3-pack of the Wagyu beef, ground beef, and that's $17.99. And then these young chickens were on sale for $4 off, so I got them for $12 essentially for 2 of these. I love putting them in the crock pot, Probably won't be turning the oven on because it is like 101 degrees today. So they're just nice to have on hand. You can make so much with just one chicken. So we have that. And then over here, we got the Mateo's gourmet salsa. Really love that. We got some of the Stoke cold brew coffee. I really love any kind of dip they have out. So smoked Gouda and peppers was out, and that should be really tasty. The red seedless grapes, I don't know what it is about Costco grapes, but they're really crunchy and super tasty. We got some more coconut water for those electrolyte drinks. We have some Annie's organic mac and cheese, and that was on sale for $11.99, so that's a good deal because they're normally $17. And then we got some of the medium roast ground coffee. I really enjoy that. I think that's it. I'm looking now, and I totally forgot to get paper towels, but we shall be fine for a bit. So I'm going to get this put away, and then I'm going to get into my meal plan for 2 to 3 weeks. I usually do it for a week, but we're really trying to stay on budget here, and if we could keep it under 300 for 3 weeks, that's pretty awesome. So fingers crossed for us. Let me sit down and write this out for you. Alrighty, I have a little helper here, a 2-year-old helper, so we'll see how this goes. We might have to voice over a couple of times, but I'm doing my meal plan just like this. It was highly requested. It's really hard to read my handwriting. Honestly, I write it out for the family, which is really just for me, and then I end up, typing it out for all of you, so you can screenshot it. So this is 2 weeks of quick and easy meals. I reference this list every single week when I can't think of anything to make. And because there are a few new faces, I really do like to just keep the basics on hand. So I have a lot of these pantry staples, and these meals are not out of the ordinary if you grew up in, I don't know, really anywhere in the United States, but I find rural towns is really where I connect with people the most with these meals. So of course I am open to hearing other ideas. If you can think of a cheap meal idea, you can write it out in the comments down below if you have time. I'm sure people would love that. So again, feel free to screenshot or feel free to write these down. I'm going to try and put a little pause at each one, but basically we're going breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks are always, fruit or leftovers for us. We're really not snacking too much during the day. With this pregnancy, it's been a little tricky. I typically have hyperemesis throughout all of my pregnancies, but in the 3rd trimester, I really just try and keep my mindset right and just try and eat whatever I can, to be honest with you, because I fear that I will lose energy. So yes, here's your grocery list. Let's go over fridge and freezer first. You're going to need eggs, milk, cheese, butter or margarine, yogurt, mixed vegetables, frozen fruit, ground beef or turkey, chicken. You're going to need fresh produce, so that's the list here. That's going to be potatoes, carrots, onions, garlic, bananas, apples, oranges, lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, cucumber for salads. You don't have to have that though. And then for the pantry, you're going to do rice, pasta, lentils or beans. You're going to need some peanut butter, oats, flour, sugar, baking powder, canned tomatoes, broth, and of course some spices. And because I always get this unproductive comment, I don't like this or I hate this, you have a new rule. If you're going to say that or think that, you have to type out what your substitution would be. That way your comment is productive, it is kind, and it's helpful for the community. And that might be my teacher voice coming on in, but I taught elementary and I find that negativity is very unproductive, especially on my channel. So we are going for week 1. We have oatmeal. We have scrambled eggs with toast. We have yogurt with frozen fruits and oats. We have pancakes from scratch with syrup or jam or just plain like my kids like it, or you could do a little peanut butter on there. We have lunches, peanut butter and jelly sandwich classic with some carrot sticks. We have egg salad or tuna salad depending on what you want to do. We have rice and beans. We have pasta salad with vegetables. That's my favorite thing to load up and use as leftovers, which brings us to our next next category, leftovers from dinner, utilize that, make extra. I will have some tips at the end of this video. For dinners, we're going to do spaghetti with sauce. You could add some broccoli in here if you wanted, or some extra bread. We're going to do chicken stir fry with rice and frozen vegetables. We're of course going to do a taco night, so ground beef or turkey, beans, lettuce, cheese, etc. We're also going to do lentil soup with bread, baked potatoes, which is a meal in itself if you load it up. I promise you that. You could even put some leftover chili on there. We have homemade pizza. The kids love that, and you can make it in fun shapes. We have fried rice with scrambled eggs and veggies, which is super tasty. And honestly, I line up the chicken stir fry with the fried rice night just so I'm not using day old or days old leftover rice, because it's just not, I don't know, my favorite thing in the kitchen to do. So line that up so you can have both. So yes, I get it. Some of these may not be your cup of tea, but feel free to substitute. Sometimes people have allergies. Feel free to substitute. I am just doing the basics here, and feel free to screenshot or write these down. I will play a little bit of music so you can do that, and then we'll go on to week 2. Alrighty, week 2 breakfast. Sometimes you could just reuse breakfast. I don't mind eating the same thing, so you'll have to bear with me here. We're going to do French toast with fruit. We have oatmeal with cinnamon and apples. And I was going to say that, change up the flavors. I have never liked oatmeal, but I realized I just didn't like the toppings in the oatmeal. So cinnamon and apples is my go-to. Eggs and potatoes, very filling and good for breakfast. You can do breakfast muffins and really load that up with the Greek yogurt for some extra proteins. Or you could do a savory muffin, which is super tasty with sausage, eggs, and cheese or something like that. For lunches, we're going to do grilled cheese and soup. You could do tuna wraps or some sort of like bean and cheese wrap. And then I'm going to throw this in for lunch, but rice with lentils or stir-fried veggies is very filling, and you can use that as a leftover. You could do mac and cheese, and then, of course, you could do more leftovers. So for dinners, I'm going to do chili this week, and we're going to do beans, ground beef, tomato, onion, those bell peppers. We're going to do roasted chicken with potatoes and carrots and a little side salad. We have pasta with veggies and sauce and garlic bread. And then we also have shepherd's pie, so that's really easy to make. We have quesadillas, which I love doing on a sheet pan. The kids love that, and it makes a little extra. We have vegetable curry with rice. I always have curry powder or paste and coconut milk in my backup little pantry. And then I have breakfast for dinner, and that includes pancakes, eggs, and fruit. And then I'll play some extra music here. Feel free to screenshot or write it down or take a picture of your television. And then at the end here, I wanted to give you some money saving tips for when you bring those groceries home. So of course, use your coupons and such and shop your sales at the grocery store. But when you get home, cook in batches and freeze the extras. You can use leftovers for lunches or repurpose, like the leftover makeovers we talk about. I always suggest buying in season and buy the store brands, and unless you have some specific need for Kraft macaroni. Honestly, there are some better versions out there. And then the last but not least, consider a meal prep day for chopping and portioning. It will save you time, especially if you're a stay-at-home parent like myself. But I hope this was helpful, and let me know what you're cooking up this week. I will see you soon for some more homesteading, budget-friendly homeschooling content. And if you're missing out on some of those day in the life vlogs, I do have another channel, and that's linked right down below. So I will catch you on the next one. Stay adventurous, stay creative. Bye, y'all.